All right, let's talk about a feature that could quietly mess with two massive categories at once: design tools and dev tools. Cursor just launched something called Visual Editor, and the pitch is simple. You can make visual design edits while also changing the underlying code with natural language without bouncing between a design file and an engineering ticket. And if you've ever worked on a product team, you already know why that matters. Because the slowest part of UI work usually isn't the idea, it's the handoff. Here's the classic loop. A designer tweaks a layout in a design tool, then a developer tries to recreate it in code, then the browser preview doesn't match, then we do the back and forth. Can you move it 8 pixels? Which 8 pixels? Wait, it broke on mobile. Sound familiar? That cycle is the handoff tax. Now imagine the new loop cursor is aiming for. You're looking at the real interface. You click the element. You adjust spacing or typography visually. And you can also just say what you want in plain English, like make this button more prominent, or match the spacing across these cards. And it applies changes that live in the code base. That's the key shift. Not editing a mock, editing the actual thing people will ship. So why does this put Adobe and Figma on notice? Because those tools have dominated where design starts: frames, components, prototypes, assets. But if more teams start designing directly in the real product surface, the center of gravity moves downstream, closer to code, closer to the browser, closer to shipping, and that changes what best tool means. It's less about who has the prettiest canvas, and more about who helps teams iterate fastest with the fewest translation errors. You can basically think of the new battleground as 3 metrics. 1. Iteration speed. How quickly can you go from idea to working UI? 2. Fidelity. Does what you design match what users actually see? And 3. Context switching. How often are you forced to bounce between apps and formats? Visual Editor is a direct bet that teams want fewer hops, fewer exports, fewer rebuild it again moments. Now, will this replace traditional design tools overnight? Probably not. Design systems, exploration, branding, and big conceptual work still benefit from a dedicated design environment. But here's what I'm watching. Does the day-to-day UI iteration, spacing tweaks, typography adjustments, component tuning, move into a single design plus code workflow? Because if it does, that's not just a new feature, that's a new default. So the takeaway is this: the disruption isn't simply AI makes design easier. It's design and code become the same place. And if that becomes normal, the entire tool stack gets redrawn.